Yeah, hello. Very warm welcome to all of you, wherever you might be tuning on KDRTV Live. It is 10:35 Central Time here in the US. It is 8:35 in the West Coast in California, and it is 6:35 East African Time. Very delighted to have you back again on KDRTV Live show as we continue having a conversation around driving a positive diaspora narrative. So today we have lined up quite a number of interesting conversations to come up momentarily. Right after the first conversation here with Dr. Kaniero, we'll be having a conversation with Dr. Miguna, an aspirant of the Nairobi gubernatorial position, and we'll be joining my colleague Ben Kebato live from Canada, and that will be at 11:20 Central Time here in the US, and that will be East Africa will be 8:20 p.m. And I think as people in East Africa go to bed, that'll be a good time for you. Right after that conversation again, my colleague Ben will come on the show again to talk about domestic violence during the COVID-19 pandemic, and he'll be joined with a number of great panelists. We'll be having Neri joining Judy, and also Ngozi Kibuike will be live at 12:20 Central Time. And there you have it. So 12:20 Central Time here in the US, a conversation around mental health and domestic violence during COVID-19. Ben will be coming on the driving seat to talk to Neri Terori, Ngozi Kibuike, and then Dr. Judy Nduso will be back again on set for the same conversation. But right now, we are delighted to bring on from California, in Massachusetts, California, Dr. Kaniero will be helping us really have a good understanding of how we should be living a healthy life during this pandemic of COVID-19. And right now from Massachusetts, California, is the incredible and the beautiful Dr. Kaniero. Good morning to you, Dr. Kaniero. How are you?
Good morning, Dr. Okari. Good morning. Well, it's 8:30 here, but it's almost afternoon your time.
It's interesting. Actually, it's 10:37
Central
Time.
Oh, yeah. 10.
Yes. So it's good to have you. Sorry for waking up, and many thanks for you doing this for KDRTV, but for especially the population during that. So, hey, since we last talked, we were talking about COVID-19. How are things going for you?
Things kind of picked up, not kind of, they picked up really since Thanksgiving. So we've been busy. I work at the clinic, so we don't see like your most severe patients, but definitely we have been testing more patients than before.
Okay. And you and your family doing okay?
Yes. Thank God.
Thank you. That's good to hear. Just for a second, our viewers, one minute, please. If you don't mind, introduce yourself very quickly to the viewers, please.
Thank you. My name is Dr. Kaniero. I am a physician. I'm a family physician based in Lemoore, California. I've been practicing medicine for 3 years now, since I left school.
Okay, very good. That's quite encouraging to hear that from you, a young lady, and I think that also sends a very good message to the female population. Let's go through this conversation now. Obviously, people are having a difficult time as best as you know, and we thought it was to have you on the show to help us have a good understanding of how we should live a healthy living during COVID-19. Maybe the first question for you, talk about or summarize really why nutrition is very good for us during this difficult time.
Definitely nutrition is a key thing in health, no matter what it is. But I think more so even now with COVID-19, want to make sure that your body is in the maximum health state it can be. So whenever I talk about nutrition, you want to look at overall, what you're eating. And what I want to encourage everyone is to really be careful with the kinds of foods, especially, eat foods that are nutritious to you, foods that will promote your health. And that for me is actually plant-based foods. So you want to eat plant-based foods, you want to eat unprocessed foods or minimally processed foods. So, your vegetables, your fruit, whole grains, all those of us who don't like things like brown rice, quinoa, millet, those kind of grains, instead of things like white rice, white breads, those kinds. So you want to eat things that are less processed, things that are more natural, and plants, definitely. And you want to stay away from things that are processed, things that have a lot of sugar, that are fried, deep fried. You want also to minimize how much animal foods that you're eating, because essentially our body really is not meant to be eating that much animal food. And I think that's one big thing with our standard American diet is full of meat and eggs and cheese and things like that. So you want to minimize. And personally, I actually just eat plant-based foods, but I just want to tell each and every one of you out there that just try to make sure that your food is 80% plants. You don't have to be like me, but if you do 80% to 90% plants, that it will really put you in a good position to maximize your health, because your plant foods have such good nutrients that will protect your body from disease, not just COVID-19, but think diabetes, think hypertension, think arthritis, obesity, cancer, all that. So your protective nutrients come from plants, so you want to really focus on that. And when we think protein, we think animal foods, but actually all your foods have protein. They just have protein in different quantities. uh, when it comes to your plant foods, you may have to mix different foods to get your 20 amino acids that are essential. Or the essential amino acids, you have total 20. But it's easier when you just eat meat or eat eggs, you get your protein. But you want to make sure that you actually minimize how much of that you're eating, even when you're using it. That way your body is not inflamed and promoting disease at the end.
Okay, good. Thank you, Dr. Kaniero. Folks, as you know, I pretty much spend time at home and then moving, and a lot of people, including myself, we're not exercising as much as should. From your perspective, how important is exercise at this time?
It's really very important to make sure that you're active. It doesn't even take so much. 30 minutes of walking, get out, fresh air, walk around for 30 minutes, make sure your heart rate goes up. And that will really give you good exercise for the day. And the more you want to do at least 5 days a week, such kind of exercise. But the more you do, the better it is for you. Make sure that you sweat. All that exercise is really good for your for your tissues, and it promotes health, and it does so many other things to you. Helps your mental, helps your thinking, helps your mental health. So you really want to make sure you stay active, and that you're and even if you are stuck in the house, so to say, because you can't leave or you have little kids, there are some exercises you can do in the house just to make sure that you stay active.
As I'm really checking that very seriously as well. I want to remind our viewers, if you're watching right now, if you have any question for Dr. Kaniero, please go to our Facebook page and have that question there. We'll have the doctor try to answer the same as well. So if you're on YouTube as well, subscribe as you do so. And on Twitter, we also at our hashtag is at KDRTV. So if you have a question and you want it answered, we'll do so. So Dr. Kaniero, I have this. This is water, right? For the sake of our viewers, how important is water at this very difficult time?
The time, but again, we are focusing on where we are and maximizing our health. You want to make sure you drink enough water, and actually the amount of water you drink depends on your weight. A lot of times we tell people drink 6 to 8 glasses of water, but the more weight you have, the more water you're going to need, because your body is 70% water. So if your weight, think your weight in pounds. I know that this is kind of international, and we use different metrics. So if you're thinking pounds, if you're if you're one if you're like 150 pounds, right? If you're 150 pounds, you need at least half, 75 ounces of water. Now, don't tell me to start doing the math, but let's just say in general, if you take about 8 glasses of water a day, you are going to be in a better position. But if you want to get really, really, into how much you need, it's going to depend on your weight. Maybe your weight in kilos, and then convert, I mean, that in ounces, and then you can know how much you you need to take.
So somebody who I'm trying to rough estimate it, somebody who is of your size should take how many bottles of this per day?
Somebody with what?
Who is of your size and
Oh,
weight?
my side.
Yes.
I'm small. You guys can't see me, but I'm small. So maybe like 3 of those that you have.
Okay.
About wait. No. I'm wrong. So my weight, let's say I weigh about 110. So
Okay.
55 ounces. So it's going to be about 4 of those.
Okay. So what that suggests that I should be having at least 6 or 7 of this per day. Okay.
Yes.
Good. So, okay, thank you for that, Dr. Kaniero again. So let's talk about sunlight, especially here in the state of Minnesota. Pretty much we're caged at home, so we're not going out. We envy you in California. I know you have the luxury of going out and having a good time. How important is sunlight at this time as well?
Sunlight is really important. It's the only way that you get your vitamin D naturally, right? So, and vitamin, or did I say vitamin A? Sorry, vitamin D. I mean, it's really important. And we have been told, I've seen articles about how like people that have low vitamin D level are more affected than people who have normal level. And I can tell you that even myself at one point I had to get replacement because I don't have enough vitamin D. And right now I take vitamin D supplement every day because you just don't, we don't get enough. We don't stay outside enough. And of course, if you are going to stay outside, if it's really hot, you have to protect yourself from the sun, apply sunscreen and stuff because sunlight can damage your skin. But for us, 15-30 minutes of sunlight, is what you need to make your vitamin D. That'll be enough for you for the day. But I would say that if you don't have that luxury of being outside getting your sun, and especially now winter, you need to get supplement. And you can get it over the counter, so 800 to 1,000 units every day, international units every day of vitamin D.
Okay, sounds good. I think that's important. So the one thing that I actually noticed was that then let's talk about temperance. For example, I love working from home pretty much the rest of the day. If you see what I have here is coffee. I know you're going to tell me that's the good thing. Drink a lot of coffee during that. But there are also some other people who have this habit. For example, some African men will tell you if you want to treat yourself, have some whiskey or some champagne, that's how you should resolve your problem during COVID-19. So, from a temperance perspective, how should we handle that?
You don't want to you want to stay from things that are harmful, stay away from things that are harmful to your health, may it be excessive drinking, the people that smoke, that is really bad for your health no matter how you look at it. Even one puff, even one cigarette, things like that we should stay away from. But everything else we have to do, in moderation to make sure that we stay healthy. Because even though, the medical society do say that it's okay to take some amount of alcohol, or wine, which is good for your heart, so to say. But it just hard because people just overdo it, and then you undergoing through all these problems, and now you in this problem, become drinking. You start drinking, and then it becomes a problem. So you have to make sure that you stay as moderate everything that you do, and do everything so that you stay healthy.
We can contest the stigmas and stereotypes that go around pretty much every single problem that we have, and for that matter, people have different stories. Some, for example, are saying air conditioning can be one reason as to why there is a quick spread of COVID-19. And also, some people are questioning the use of this mask. Some of them are saying these are not authentic. What do you say to our viewers, especially in regard to use of air conditioning and the importance of using a mask at this time?
Out there that really says that air conditioning promotes, the spread of COVID-19 than just regular air, and there hasn't. So that's not something you should be worried about. Well, I mean, people staying inside right now, it's not really air conditioning as much as heating, especially for us, for this part of the world. So it's not something that we should be really, really worried about, that it's going to increase the spread. And then the mask, it's really, really important because, again, what are the precautions we have? It's covering, facial covering, sanitizing, social distancing, that those things we are supposed to do. And they're not going to cause any problems to your health. I know there are some people, the N95, I understand that. The N95 is more because it's supposed to protect you from airborne disease, meaning things that you breathe. So those ones, there are people that can wear them for one reason or the other. They might have, lung problems and all that, but just a regular mask, it's really important for us to keep that, because that's one way we know will protect us or prevent the spread of COVID-19.
Easy way that doesn't make me nervous. I usually get sometimes. But again, for those ones watching, again, I want to remind you, if you have any question, please feel free to post those questions on our Facebook page so that we can have 1 or 2 questions for Dr. Kaniero, or otherwise we'll forward those questions later after the show. But at the same time, I want to take opportunity also to thank the Hennepin County COVID-19 team here in Minnesota for sponsoring this program, as well as the Mong'are station. So let's also talk about rest. How important is it that we get good rest? I know this time some people have 2-3 jobs. They want to work hard and make money and take care of their family. Some people are home very tired. How important is rest for us? And what do you say to that again?
Important, because our bodies need rest. Your body needs rest. When you sleep, a lot of things happen. You rejuvenate, your body cleans, your cells become rejuvenated so you can stay healthy. And when we do this and we don't sleep, we are actually promoting disease. And one of the studies that came out not long ago showed that overnight shift, working at night, actually promoted the development of diabetes. So you can imagine, if you're sick and you're not, or if you're dealing with some chronic condition and you're not sleeping, or even if you don't have a chronic condition and you're not sleeping at night, it's going to be a problem. Your health is going to be impacted at the end. Or not even that, if you have some sleeping issue, you need that taken care of, because of course not everybody's working night shift that have sleeping problems. Some people just, for whatever issues, they're just not getting rest. You need at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep every day. And I know some days you won't, but really you should try as much as possible to get 7 to 8 hours every day, and that really helps your body fight disease. If you're awake, all the stress build up, your body's just not functioning right, and it's easy for you to get sick like that.
Does that apply to all demographics? I know some people might say if you are older, you're therefore more vulnerable than the younger population, and say those who need more trust would be the older generation. But can you talk directly to the younger ones, especially the teenagers, including Collins, a young guy who's running the show right now, is just 17, and the young ones might say, no, I'm young and active, I'm not vulnerable. What do you say to especially the young ones and students?
I want to say that, your the body is the body. That's just how it functions, whether you are young or older. You need rest. And I want to say to all young people out there that, try to get your 7 to 8 hours of sleep every day to maximize your health. Don't feel like you're young and you're not vulnerable, invincible. So to say, you should be getting your sleep and protect yourself from disease.
Okay, I think that's very well said. Thank you. One thing that I appreciate you, for those of us who know you and Mr. Kaniero, is that you really enjoy the science of laughter. All the time I watch you, and I do stalk you, by the way, on Facebook, watch your good songs and good life. How important is laughter during, yes, it's a difficult time, but how important is the laughter and humor at this time?
is good medicine. Even the Bible says that, and it's actually very true. Because if you are all stressed out and stressing out about stuff, your body doesn't function right. So you have to cheer up, cheer yourself up even through the tough times, and so you can stay healthy. Your mind, you can think straight and promote good mental health. Um, and just your physical body, it benefits from the laughter. So I want to encourage that you find something, even though we are not as social right now, but we have other ways. Call your friends, have some good times. It really does promote health.
Okay, very good. Lastly, but not least, but in the same line, I know spirituality is very important. I think that those ones who feel, somehow this we'll get over this. But and I know you're a very spiritual person. How important is it that we also use our spirituality and God to guide us through this difficult time?
And it does really take away the worrying, because obviously we are taking all the precautions we can, and all we can do is just look up to God and continue to pray that we'll get through this. Of course, most of us will get through it, but I think it's just all the stress and everything. We're just worried about our loved ones. We are worried about going out into places, stressed out because we feel restricted, and all that. But having the hope, keeping your prayers, and continuing to read your Bibles, and just keep your trust in God that we'll get through this. It's really, really important, because I know there's a lot of people that are stressed out, very stressed out. So we
Okay.
want to.
So, Dolphin, before we finish here, I'm going to ask you on a light note, what did you get for Christmas, and what did you get your families for Christmas?
Nothing. Well, nothing material. Honestly, nothing material. I didn't. I spent time with the family. We made some food. We stayed home. I'm not big on gifts. Honestly, I
Okay.
don't. And I don't know. Maybe I wonder if maybe it's because of our culture, growing up in Kenya and in the village. So I mean, like, of course, we also have had ways to celebrate, right? We had soda, mandazi, all those things that made Christmas special. And even I remember actually you got clothes or maybe shoes and things like that. But I don't take it to be such a big thing for us, especially when it comes to material stuff. So just spending time, making some food and staying home with the family, especially this year. Um, yeah.
I think that's more important. I think I agree with you 100%. I think the family is more important than the material world. So, in closing, I know you need to get back to the kids and start your day over there in California as we end the year and begin another year for our audience.
Sorry, I missed what you said.
So, as we finish here, I'm going to ask you to your closing statement for our viewers, especially as we end the year and begin another year.
I just really want these, what we talked about today, not to be just for COVID-19. I mean, obviously, we don't know how long we're going to be dealing with COVID-19, until we have the vaccine. And I know, a lot of people have questions about it. I've looked at the science. I am pretty confident about the vaccine, and I'm hoping that we actually can beat this and get out and be in our normal lives as soon as possible. But until then, and just going forward, you really want to make sure you maximize your health. And I can tell you that lifestyle can actually decrease your how do you call it, can add you 10 more years to your life, and a bad lifestyle can decrease 10 years of your life and make you age faster and die younger. So you really want to make sure to stay healthy, to follow these things, eat healthy. The things I'm really big on actually nutrition. everything else, but I'm very big on nutrition because I think it's something that we all find trouble with. We all like to enjoy a little, sweet treat here and there. Maybe some more than here and there. They're actually doing this every day and eating a lot of processed food. I know this is more international. There are people from from home, from Kenya, watching us. So you want to make sure, because sometimes we get like Western influence where we think our foods are not as good. So we want to leave our skumas and our beans and our yams and our sweet potatoes and things like that and go for, we think that those other foods are better. Pizza, hamburger, and all these other processed food from the store, juices and soda and all these things. But those things are actually not healthy. Once in a while is okay, but really just embracing our natural plant foods. And then, when it comes to animal foods, using those sparingly, and then when it comes to processed food, really trying to stay away from processed food. The longer the shelf life, it shortens your own life. So just stay away from those processed foods and eat more of your natural plant foods, and just following the exercise and all the other things we talked about. Temperance, avoiding those things that are harmful to you, to your body and to your health. Because it's, again, as I said, it's not just living longer, but preventing chronic diseases, hypertension, diabetes, arthritis, obesity, cancer, all those. We can maximize our health. That way we can prevent a lot of these diseases that we're having these days, diseases that are associated with doing well, so to say, and, avoiding using our own natural foods and going for processed, fancy looking, foods. So I'll just encourage that you continue to do that and enjoy your, good health.
Okay, sounds good. I think that marks the end of it. Many thanks to you, and thank you for coming on. You did promise last time to come back on, and I'm very happy that you're able to come on to help us end the year. And hopefully, we will have you back again to continue helping us really help, especially our diaspora community. Many thanks to you, so that I'll let you go back and take care of the young ones and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much, Dr. Kaniero, for talking to us again.
Thank you, Dr. Kari. You have a good day. Good night.
As well. Yeah.
Bye.
Oh, good night in Kenya. Good night here. And for our viewers, in about 17 minutes, please do stay on. My colleague Ben Kebato will be on the driver's seat today and is going to have a very deep and we're expecting to be a very engaging conversation with Dr. Miguna, who will be joining us live from Canada. And again, as I said earlier in the introduction, Dr. Miguna is hoping to run for the governor position in Nairobi, Kenya. And so he will be talking to the Kenyan diasporans here in the US and also around the world about his hopes of becoming the next governor of that great city, the city in the skies in Nairobi, and hopefully transform the political and social economic aspect of that city, and by extension the country. Again, my colleague Ben Kebato will be up momentarily with Dr. Miguna, who will be joining us live from Canada. Right after Dr. Miguna, at 12:20 Central Time here in the US, again, we're going to have another conversation. Ben will be on the driver's seat again, where we'll be engaging in conversation with Nori Terori. She's a mental health consultant, and also Ngozi Akubuike. She's an attorney. She was back here last night, and she'll be back again. And our good friend, Dr. Judy Nduso, they'll all be talking about mental health and domestic violence during COVID-19. So from this moment on, we're going to have you have a great day, and stand by for the next 17 minutes before Ben gets on to the driver's seat to drive the rest of our presentation today. Many thanks from me, and to you, a very happy New Year 2021.